Okay, so last night at the premiere, you told me there was this immense responsibility that was shared with the cast and the creators and this crew to tell this story and do it justice. So I'm curious, how much hesitation was there for you knowing that this is a role that, you know, you would lose sleep over?
You know, funnily enough, zero hesitation.
Is this the kind of challenge you're looking for?
I think so, but it felt like an enormous, I mean, it's just like a gift to be given a role like this. It's something you want your whole life as an actor.
Don't really understand how I ended up here. Dashing around. And losing sight of myself in the process. You know, I think that's been the story of my whole life.
The scope of it is immense. The pressure is huge, which forces you to like evolve creatively. And, but also like on a basic level, I loved this show. I just loved this show, you know. I was a big fan and I was so nervous to meet Peter, and I went to his house and sat down in his living room. They asked me to play the part, and I maybe took a breath before I said yes, but for me it was a no-brainer. And I think with things that are really truly terrifying, you kind of have to jump before you think, right? Yeah. So then I got scared.
So it was
a delayed reaction of thinking, what have I
signed up for?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I have to imagine as an artist it was worth it. Like that leap of faith was worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I love it. Now, you know, some of the images we see of Diana this season are really heartening and really stirring, and you totally embodied her. I'm talking, you know, specifically, you know, her hiding from the paparazzi, her alone on a boat, her struggles with trying to, you know, reach her kids. What for you would you say was the most challenging scene to shoot?
I think all the scenes when I'm trying to get to the phone call with the boys.
Right.
Oh, it's Diana calling for the boys.
You've just missed them, Mum. The princes waited for your call, but have gone back out again. I'm so sorry, Mum.
Really difficult, really frustrating, really sad, and sort of just stir up so many very like the human experience to being trapped by something that feels like it should not be happening to you, that there should be some way that you can be protected against it, and it's just so aggressive.
What about William and Harry? What do they think about your new boyfriend?
Is this the surprise you were talking about?
You're gonna marry Dodi Fayed?
What's next after Bosnia? Egypt.
Does Prince Charles approve, Diana?
Is Dodi going to put you in one of his films?
They were pretty horrendous scenes.
How did you get into that mindset of this era?
It's not of this. I was going to say of those scenes. Of those scenes, there's no getting into. It's like happening to you.
Right.
You're just navigating, trying to get out of it. This era of Diana, for me, it was just always about the kids. You know, they're getting older in the story, you want to be with them, obviously they're sharing custody, and it's just really like so much of my brain in that character is just about when do I see them again.
I imagine the scenes with the paparazzi, it's also easy to kind of embody her in that moment because it's happening to you in real time. And
right.
I clocked those exhales that you gave every time the car door shut.
Right, they're involuntary.
Well, obviously so much of Diana's life has been documented, but we get to, you know, peel back some layers in this show and see an intimate version of her. Right. You know, this season we're getting a look into Diana and Dodi's relationship, which we don't know much about.
I was supposed to be getting married. Remember?
Oh, yeah. And now?
No, I'm probably not.
What were you most surprised to learn about their relationship?
Well, you know, I always need to be really clear and say that what we are acting out is Peter's interpretation of that relationship. So in terms of the way he envisions it, imagined it, and then what Khaled and I found within it was just this really beautiful ease, a sense of like two people being kind of thrown together under strange, pretty unusual circumstances, and as Peter sees it, being sort of, you know, engineered by Mohammed Al-Fayed, but this really surprising sense of two people finding out that they're very at peace with each other and that they can give the other person something they desperately need. And I think for me inside that character, it was just this sense of somebody really kind of listening to you, caring, and wanting to be with you, wanting to be around you.
Somewhere where one can actually be free. Sit under a tiny tree with a boy that you like eating ice cream.
Knowing that was Peter's interpretation, did you lean on him and what was on the paper, or were you able to, I don't know, reach out to some people who were maybe close to Diana and Dodie to kind of get a better idea of like how to portray this?
I think that Khaled spoke to people who knew Dodie at that time, and we used some of the information from that, and a lot of what was told to us was just that there was this really genuine sense of delight in the other person, that they were really having a really fun time,
Right.
that they were quite very naturally kind of happy together, and so we would lean on that information. But really, it's what's on the page. I mean, that's your job as an actor in The Crown. It's to follow that.
You brought that to life. I mean, you really did. I wanted to ask you about the conversations between Diana and the Queen and also Prince Charles after her death.
It's over now. Easier for everyone with me gone.
No, it won't.
What do you think is the meaning behind and the significance behind those scenes and those conversations?
I think that they're just a really beautiful expression of grief. It's I think grief is like, it's such a huge, slippery, overwhelming human experience. And how do you represent that on screen? And I think anybody who's lost somebody knows that one of the first things that you feel is taken from your life is the ability to speak with that person whenever you need to. And so I think the idea that Peter has of just sort of expressing that natural desire to just see just one more time.
Yep.
See that person, and also say the things that you may not be able to say to them when they're there.
Right.
As long as anyone can remember, you've taught us what it means to be British. Maybe it's time to show you're ready to learn too.
And so that, I also was able, within the character, to sort of experience that catharsis as Diana.
Wow.
To just be able to say to this person who was, is the love of your life, that you love them.
Right.
And yeah.
And finally, we heard you were on a strict spray tanning schedule. You spent over 30 hours in hair and makeup. How would you sum up this transformation into Diana? Did you enjoy it?
I want to say that I wasn't in hair and makeup for 30 hours. I think that is like a total accumulation of all the fittings.
Right.
Because I can barely sit in a makeup chair for more than 2 hours. So I was on a strict schedule that it was very disciplined. I had to endure a lot of tanning.
A lot of tanning.
Because as you can see, I am a very pale person. And people would say, why don't you just get in the sun? And I would say, that's not going to do anything.
Correct.
So
not fast enough.
Not fast enough, yeah. It was worth it.
It was worth it?
Yeah.
Well, you looked incredible. Thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it.